So many people speak about beauty now on YouTube. It's a little bit a trendy topic even, but few speak about this with a proper philosophical substance. And even worse is to find someone who actually deliver a philosophical thought and an argumentative substance for what is being said. What we have most of the time is just the promotion of an idea and not the arguing, the actual building of an argumentative substance behind the concept that is being promoted. So what you have is the logic of the advertising. Even in the conservative discourse about beauty, one of the questions that is left without much consideration is what is the beauty they are talking about? Okay, do they want that we come back to ancient Greece and talk to Plato, or is this the beauty of Beethoven? But the beauty of Beethoven is not exactly like the classic beauty of the Greeks. So what are they talking about? Okay, this is a huge problem, and it shows that most of the time they are concerned about promoting an idea, and this starts to be a little bit even dangerous, as I saw in a commentary that he says beauty is biological. In a documentary that has a very ancient Greek framework, what they're talking about. So it's a new Darwinism, or it is biological in the sense of the old Greek culture, in the sense of physics, where the biology and the cosmology they are still very intricated together in the same cultural framework. And if it is a Darwinist sense of beauty, then how do you support this discourse in the context that Hitler himself was very based in the same idea? So how do you make this, let's say, this purging of our cultural trauma, etc., etc., etc. So there are many problems there. I'm going to talk about one of my most objective criteria possible that I could find to understand and reproduce beauty. And here I speak not for the first time, but in a rare occasion, really as philosopher, because I prefer to say I'm not philosopher every day. Okay, this topic for another video, but I'm going to give some criteria to understand beauty in a very objective sense, and this will give you a very pragmatic sense of beauty. This is what I want to give, but also I am creating also a problem that we are going to see later. I am going to show that it is ridiculous to simplify beauty, and I sense that many of these popular documentary promoting beauty, and even the discourse of Roger Scruton, they tend to simplify beauty. Principally the English intellectuals, they are fascinating, their talent to simplify things. So since I am here in a country where we speak German, I am going to complicate things. Okay, but I'm not in Germany, I'm in Austria, so I am I'm between Germany and Italy, so this means I will keep a balance between complicated things and make them nice. Okay, so let's go. Another footnote is, first of all, I didn't start the lesson yet. But if you care about philosophical things, so why are you searching for performative videos and advertising videos? And why are you already losing the patience? So this is 5 minutes yet, and I am already anxious. I am already anxious that I am speaking 5 minutes introduction. But as I said in my last, before the last video, there is no text without context. So I want to give you the context of what I'm talking about. So let's go to the what motivated me to do this video, this insight. So this documentary here, Gen Z, Modernity, the Brutal Rebellion. He did many good points, okay? But still not outside of this type of problem that I want to cover here. And when I saw this image, I find it so ugly that I found finally a very good example to show my point, okay? To show my point and to show and to resume everything that he's saying into a more compact philosophical conceptualization. Instead of talking 52-minute ways in a performative way, I prefer to just use the language of the philosophers, and what the philosophers do, they just teach, they just talk, no? So I'm going to do a little bit visualization for you. You see how simple it is. So I'm going to teach them the criteria of substitution. Okay. But we are going to see this is way more than just substitution. This is going to be ontological, at very least. So, by the way, I am not going to use this. Yes, I'm going to use this program. Okay. So the ontological substitution. And why I call it ontological? So let's understand. Let's consider this line the line of nature. Okay. Now, to understand already this, you are going to see a huge problem, because how can I speak about nature without giving the whole context of the philosophical discussion in aesthetic? This is the first problem that we have. Because when I speak about nature for someone today, the only concept that you have from nature you got from the school, and the school was engineered to give you a very narrow sense of nature. This is the first problem that we have. So the problem of context again. Now, how can I do this? So I speak about nature here in the most conservative sense possible. So this means as physics. So let's try to make more compact. So biology plus astrology plus astronomy plus, do you got the point? So we don't have the words to characterize the Greek experience of physics. Okay, this is already a problem. But let's try to say nature in the old sense. So let's consider in this line everything but not us, as we have here. So there is not the guy who goes to work. There is not the civilization as we know it here. The modern civilization is not here. So imagine that you are in a forest, or imagine that you are in a desert, etc. How do you experience nature when you don't have no one, so no human element? It is first you can't detach the human element, I know, but do the exercise to understand nature without the human element. So, you are going to have the feeling of admiration, order, etc. But principally, I would say this you might not have this experience, but this causes in us humans the experience of the sacred. Now, to make this explanation very compact, now what happens when you create things? When you create something, because you are going to create, so for example, you are going to create a building for your food, another building that is a library, another one that is a temple, okay? And then what happens? From the point of view of a very, let's say, more archaic mind, or ancient mind, to not say archaic, but a mind like the Greek mind, or even the Egyptian mind, what happens with them? They are so connected with this, and this I call the ontological part, because it is concerning the being, that when they create something, they feel the disconnect between the created part and the uncreated part. So the given part and the created part. So they feel this disconnect. And in order to create a more a better result, they try to harmonize, to combine with this. They try to combine So even this, I fight with every software. No, it's not. It's amazing because I go beyond what the software offers. So I want another green and also not this green. Anyways, so they want to combine. You have to combine this with this, and now you have equal. So now you have the harmonia. Okay. Basically, this is the concept. Now, how do you achieve harmony? One of the most classic ways that was discovered is it is with the numbers, because they discovered that here we have one number and here we have the same number. Okay, so the number they are transcendent, and they communicate this with this, and now I have this. I have harmonia, and this is what we do with the musical chords as well, with the harmonic series and the whole teaching of harmony. This is what we are doing. When you don't know the rules of harmony, you are doing this. And now when you do know the rules of harmony, you are doing this. Now the problem is, this is why this concept of mine I find fascinating. So when you have too much harmonia and too much one-to-one relationship, you are creating again the same thing. You are creating the same thing. Now, this is a problem. Do you want to just recreate the same thing? No, because art is way more than this. So here you have an criteria to help you understand what creates the beauty, in the sense of what we can call naturalism. Naturalist beauty. Now, you are going to understand now the problem, because how is with the human beauty? Now this is a problem. With the human beauty. So first of all, how can I even draw this? No, this, when you say this is unequal and this is equal, this is still a judgment of taste. Equal. So where is the unequal on my keyboard? So I don't know. I can't explain how beauty works, but now not how my keyboard works. So let's go back. But I'm getting better. So my students, they have patience with me. I like this. So it is recording. Yes, it is recording. So human beauty. Now, this is the problem of taste. Okay, how to decide this or that. So taste. Now here you will see that we have many different tastes. So if you go to Mesopotamia is one, Egypt one, ancient Greece is one, and Rome is another. So alone between Cicero and Lucretius, there was a very different change of taste. So because for Cicero, the sky was a display, a showmanship of meaning, and for Lucretius, it was not. This is why it is a little bit pathetic, this simplified conservatism of like going back to whatever you are going back, okay? Because if you go back too much, you are going to create the same problems that led us here. And this is what I see with these people. And I find very nice that they talk about this. I find it is better than nothing, and they speak many true things. But just put yourself in my skin. My latest videos about similar topic, they got 30 and 40 views. And these morons, anything that they do that is a beautiful documentary with cute scholar college schoolboy voice get almost viral all the time. So make them viral, but please share my thought, and if my thought has no substance, just leave the comments. But I think the intellectuals today that actually spend time in their life researching a topic, they are the most discriminated people, because we are in an algocracy, and we didn't learn how to let's say how to fool the algorithm. So this is not our specialty, also not my specialty. And on the other hand, we are also tired of academia, because you can't engage in free thinking there. For example, here, if I say, let's say, the wrong thing about gender, I might lose my job, etc. Only because I have actually good curriculum. I still have my job, and I speak almost whatever I want. But not anyone is allowed to do this, principally if you are in academia, or in Canada, or in United Kingdom. Even worse. So this is why we come to YouTube. And also the other reason is because also from the Greek and classic point of view, you should come there to where the people discuss. So the YouTube is or today's Agora. So it's the place where the philosophers and the sophists and all the men try to exercise their thought in public. They united and got together. Now, from this point of view, so I find important that you share my video if you got something from this. Now, here you have a conflict, and this type of simplified videos, they don't want to go into the conflict, because this will disturb the promotion of the idea. And everything that we do today with ideas, even academia, is always the promotion of an idea. So the importance of Adorno, it's almost like only this, or the importance of Roger Scruton. So you hardly get some hardcore disputation, okay? Now, let's come back. The taste will define when you have harmonia and when you don't have harmonia. So, harmonia or harmony. Now, this is very, very, very important, because now you bring the element of culture. So, okay, so basically, this is the conflict between culture and nature. So, what is the value? What is the value? And for example, even when they say here, someone say here's a symmetry, this is also a problem. Because if I get too much symmetry, I come back to the full green again. Or not. It might be also another thing. Another thinker will say that when you want symmetry, actually you are going to this white area here. So you have nothing to do with the ontological reality, because the number and the symmetry, it is always a geometric, mathematic concept, and in nature we don't see equal numbers or perfect geometric forms. So do you understand these problems? But Plato will say that yes, the nature display the numbers and forms in geometric forms, because actually nature is not just a biological thing, but it is physics. It is myth, biology, astrology, astronomy. It is the cosmos. It is the material manifestation of the cosmos. So this is my definition. So material manifestation of the cosmos given to original experience. This is the most important part. And I can't color this only part here because the app was not made for me. Can I have text editing? No, I can't have text editing. And later they find this, I don't know, best app possible. Original experience. This is very important, because I want that you understand this line not only as a given reality, but as an experienced reality. This is very important to understand. It is an experienced reality. And you can have this reality experienced as taste 1, 2, 3, 4. Even in the ancient world. Okay? By the way, it's already too much that I try to give a diagram of this, because these philosophical ideas, first of all, you can't diagram like this. Do you think that my best lessons in philosophy, that they were like a happy drowning? It was just the teacher speaking, because because it is not everything you can bring like this, unless it is a system like Kant. Kant makes a good drowning. But if I put everything here, you see it will be big. So I'm still speaking here about the ancient world. So this world that the conservatives want to be inspired and come back to. Me too, but I understand the mega big problem of this, and I just can't like promote an idea just via statements. And this is what these people do, and even the hard scrutin. with the harder script I have to be careful, but when I read him, he deliver arguments, etc. But I can't go with this English style of philosophy, because it is like, it is paraphrases of the same the whole time. So this is not my style. My style is a little bit more like, I speak one time and it is said, and now let's go on in the next logical implication. So this might look more confused, but there is no point that I waste. I do the whole video just about this, and these people, they have this ability of just varying on the same topic. Like, it's fascinating. I can do so. These ideas are already communicated, and now we found some problems, and this is still the ancient world. Now, how does the modern world, modern art, but here modern in wide sense, modern era, so Neuzeit, okay, in German. How does this start? Because of this taste problem, you have our great Kant analyzing exactly this. So it is not by chance that he speaks about this. So basically, Kant's investigation on the problem of beauty was very grounded in the question, which is the foundation of our judgments of taste. And along this, a whole other complicated thing, because if I say judgment, I have to explain the concept of judgment, that itself requires a lesson. Because you can't explain judgment without speaking about concept and thing and categories and etc. So you need the whole apparatus and tool set of the science of logic. Now, Kant speaks about the problem of the aesthetic judgment, and which are the conditions of objectivity of the aesthetic judgment. And basically, the conditions of objectivity of the aesthetic judgment, they are subjective. And this broke the head of many people to understand that only understand his system, you can start make sense out of it. But let's put here, so this is not his quote, okay? This is my synthesis. The conditions of objectivity of the aesthetic judgment are themselves subjective, but subjectivity is objective in the sense of being transcendental. Yes, I know it's complicated, but I want really to scare you. So to not leave you totally out, we have this concept. So this is the you, the individual, then the world, and another individual, etc. And the world is objective. This is the same thing here, okay? Now, what Kant says is that this objective element here in themselves, it is only objective because each individual has in its, let's say, mental gene, so in its mental structure, the conditions to recreate the world as something objective. So if I can put his system in one sentence, it's hard. Basically, what he's saying is that the world, when it is not perceived by these individuals, the world itself is not objective. What is objective is the interaction between me and the world based on a transcendental structure inside everyone. And this transcendental structure is the same in everyone. And this is why you have Jung later. Okay, what he does is to try to understand the transcendental structure of your mind from the point of view of the unconscious mind. Basically, Jung is the inversion of Kant, let's say, but not so much, because Jung is way more objectivist in the sense of trying to catch the world and not only the individual, but still it is psychology. So he himself says, so he doesn't do metaphysics. Actually, it's not this his thing, but the mind from the point of view of pure transcendental objectivity that goes beyond the times. And this is why he speaks about the archetypes so well. Now, coming back, the conflicts of taste, they have to do with the fact that I experience this reality in very different ways, and in the context of shocks of value. The Kant, he doesn't speak about the problem of shocks of value, etc. He goes in the DNA of the whole discussion. This is why Kant is so central for the aesthetics discussion, and also for this discussion, but also everything that it has to do with aesthetics. Now, this lesson is not about Kant, it's not about Jung, but it is about showing you some conflicts that are ignored in this discussion, and the value of this discussion will be only actually valid if you consider the conflict. What happens is, still, this framework that I give you here, it's very interesting to give a practical advice to create or reproduce beauty. Let's try to understand. Let's try to put this in a more in a clear visualization. Where is the here? So this building, when you look at this, it is like an interruption in the ontological flow, because if we consider things from the point of view of nature, and nature in the sense of naturalist beauty, then of course this is like a full stop in the flow of nature. And if we take another beauty, a more beautiful, considered beautiful, so let's give an example. Let's give an example. This is more harmonious. Why? Because it is more similar to nature. Because you have more curve, etc. you have more colors, etc. So it harmonizes more with nature. The problem that it is ignored is that this is not a one-to-one copy of nature. The problem that is ignored is which level of gap between this ontological plane and the human plane is accepted. So let's do like this. Do we want how can where does beauty start actually? Do you want this? Or do you want a little bit closer? So this is the plan of nature, the plan of culture. How much intersection do you want? Do you want 1-to-1 or 1-to-10 relationship? Do you understand? Oops. One, 3 or more distant. This is like almost nothing. So very different. What the conservatives don't understand is that because of this question of this disruption of value and taste, this value and taste problem, this caused the whole dialectic of history that I do as an spiral, not as a cycle, as many people teach Hegel, but this is the true dialectic of history. So you start here the music in Mesopotamia, then Egypt. So in Egypt they realize that they can't reproduce the same type of art thousands of years just because it is beautiful. Then in Greece, the logos, or the thinking, creates this necessity of negation and discussion. Then you have this in the Roman heritage, when in the example that I gave, Cicero and Lucretius, they disagree radically. So he writes a poem in a way, and Lucretius writes another poem, the Rerum Natura, in a totally different way, the contrary way, like almost mocking Cicero. So then you go on, okay, and then if you follow this line, you are going to come back. I mean, I assume you are going to come back into the Duchamp's or John Cage problem again, okay? So the urinal and the music that is just silence in the first half of the second century. Because the history of art is the history of searching for beauty, what it is. So, and if this were easy, people will just sit down and recreate the beauty, and that's it. But we did this already in the Egyptian art. The Egyptian art is very important because they stayed forever, like doing in the same way, and it only changed the art school when the dynasty changed. Do you want this? because they believe that they had the formula of beauty. Basically, the concept of beauty for them was very strange. Possibly, it's not like if the word beauty, it's in itself not enough to capture the Egyptian experience of art. Even art is not a word enough, but they stayed in the same thing because it was already perfect. So if you are searching for the problem in the conservative perspective is this. So they mention those things, and I find really very inspiring. And the only purpose of this is to at least to show the ridiculous of the Marxist revolutionary type of art, because it came to a total nonsense, principally in the plastic arts, no, and then it has the function of mocking them somehow, and to show that this is way more valuable for many reasons. Okay, my concern is that still this is not enough to explain what the nature of beauty, and when you don't properly inquire on the nature of beauty and its problems, you are not creating beauty. Okay, you are still in the simulacrum, in the appearance. So this conscience about the history of art as the history of the concept of beauty. Oops. This gives you the framework in order to understand what it means to be here where we are. It means that we should always consider the whole spiral and understand ourselves only from the contemporary point of view. There is no other way. Even when you go back in a type of Renaissance, you need to consider very well what is truly happening in the present. And the present, when it comes to art and aesthetic, has a multitude of conflicts. You can't just ignore these conflicts just saying, okay, this is Duchamp and John Cage. This type of simplification that we see in those documentaries about beauty, it is like the symptom of someone trying to promote an idea. You are not actually going into the intellectual discussion. So they have many books outside when they speak, the conservatives, no, but there is no intellectual tension. By the way, sorry, I don't have book outside me, so perhaps you won't share my video anymore. But if you ignore these conflicts, you are ignoring the possibility to actually build the concept as it should be. There are many tensions. So I won't go in any of them now, because if I open the Pandora box of the art in music in the last 70 years with so many examples, I won't end here. So this is what we do in my seminar of philosophy of music. But what we should understand is that if you want a more conservative framework, this concept here, the concept of the substitution, is for me the most powerful framework. The resume is that first we have the architecture, as the most clear type of the most clear test. So the starting point is the architecture, because the architecture, it's almost like evident. You see the interruption between the green and the building. Okay, this is what I want you to understand. So this interruption here between the tree and the building, I find so fascinating. So think about this. Think about the interruption between this and this. So try to really meditate in how huge is the gap between nature and human culture here. Okay, and how they fight with each other here somehow. Principally from the point of view of how we experience this in a visual way, there is a collision. Okay, the only collision that is not there is in the fact that it gives us shelter. No, it gives protection. Okay, but from the artistic point of view, everything is about giving us protection, but in a way that harmonizes with nature. This leads to a thought, by the way, that I find crucial for you understand the more classic worldview. So everything that you do should harmonize with this ontological plane. This was a default, okay, and for us this is not a default. We just create this white here, and we don't ask ourselves if it is harmonizing. And this is the main point where the conservatives they are right. They are asking, why are you not considering this ugly difference between the ontological plane and the new artifact? Why don't you harmonize human-made artifacts with the ontological plane? Okay, this is the question. I would answer this question, say that for us, the ontological plane itself, it's absolutely meaningless. It is not green like this; it's already gray. So this is why we don't even see this disconnect. What we see, so when you see something ugly, you see, I don't find my color again. Which is the color of the ugly? So we have today a human being that experiences reality already in a gray zone, and then when he creates something, it is almost gray again. So it is almost the same thing. So basically, in an unconscious way, he is also in the harmony, in the combination. The architect who created this, I think he's harmonizing with reality, because reality is probably the set of ideologies and narratives that build this whole aesthetic framework of the brutalism. So it is a set of words, basically detached from the nature, in such a way that this is his glasses, and he sees even nature from this point of view, perhaps. it is like a totally perverted experience of the ontological plane. And perhaps for him, the true ontological plane is the human reality alone. And then this is why you have this full disconnect between the beauty and the nature around it. So you have this disconnect, because actually what he wants to imitate as a model is the world of models. So let's say ideological models. So it is from my mind to my mind. It's not from nature to my mind. So basically, his way of harmonizing is this way. When you have John Cage, for example, he composed the music that does not has even a sound. Okay. So we have nature, then we have the world, the human world, and then we have the ideas, and then we have the John Cage. The John Cage is doing the music about the idea, and then here he is harmonizing. But with the nature, it's actually well, there is no sound, so there is something very nature about he does, but this is not imitation of nature in the sense of one of our core definitions of art. It's not imitation of nature and word. Okay, so it is like the music about the idea, and the Duchamp as well. So it's about the idea. So the art of Duchamp was about the idea of art. Still, this model, it shows very capable to help us in this analysis, because when you define the naturalist beauty, the plane of naturalist beauty, using this framework of ontological substitution, this is what I'm calling here, you can map, at least in a mental way, how much are you going out of sync with the ontological plane. The question that is open is, why is this bad and this is better? This is the problem, principally in music. So in music, you can do music just using consonants, for example, and then you come in many problems. So first of all, what is the one-to-one here? You should not be confused by the topic explanation. What is the one-to-one? What is this full imitation, equality? For example, nature is dirty, and this would imply that harmony has to be dirty then. These problems, they are very important, and they are more important for me than to promote beauty in a beautiful video. So for example, where is nature here actually? Okay, you don't see nothing of nature. So you see basically mankind expressing its highest self. Okay, this is what we have. But we have the expression of the highest self in a way that still harmonizes with nature. So this is the magic, and this is why art is hard to learn and to understand how it works. So it is not exactly this imitation of the same green, but it is just similar, and this similarity will always be it consists in a dialectic between the word and nature. So the man, this is the word made by man, and nature. Then you have art. our discussion is, should we have more word and less nature? Or, less nature, less word and more nature? This is the discussion. Or what I find even worse is, do you want one-to-one relationships, like a full imitation? This is the most naive type of conservative perspective, because it ignores totally that we want to express the conflicts in some way. And the conflicts, they have moments of ugliness and asymmetry, etc. It was not the topic yet of this video, but this is also very ignored, no? And when you look at this spiral here, there is the evidence for an evolution of art, because we got always better in expressing human conflict. Do we want to stay there in the Egyptian perfection for 1,000 years, or do we want here the Citizen Kane type of revelation and tension? It's still, so the film of Orson Welles, it is based on the same principles of the Greek storytelling, yes, in a lot of aspects. Or even better, watch the Strange Love of Martha Ives. So I want to analyze the film music of this movie yet. So this movie is like very modern. So this is like a noir, but it follows the same structure of a Greek tragedy. But the music of Miklos Rozsa is far away from everything that the conservatives take for the beautiful art. So it has a lot of influence of Bartók. But Bartók composed the concerto for orchestra and many things that they are not symmetric. And they are not nature one-to-one. How is this? So this conflict between the world and nature, it's a very important thing. Because from the Greek point of view, here you have the nomos. So this is the convention. And here you have the cosmic order. So this is why what we call the fate and the tragic conflicts. And this is what makes the tragic. Now, the tragic is not a classic temporary thing. The tragic happens also now in 2026. And how are we going to express the tragic without using the art of our time? And how are we going to express the tragic just by staying on symmetry? Do you understand the problem? So the task of this lesson was to show that everything is a big problem. It is hard to understand. You just can't promote and simplify these ideas and claim or respect that you are doing a big service toward the discussion of art and aesthetics. What I think you are doing is the same thing as Adorno did. You are creating ideology. You are creating buildings of discourse that people can easily follow. And it also shows here this lesson how big the discussion is. This is what I wanted to do. So it is very incomplete, I know, and this means you should keep learning, or you learn with me in my seminar. So basically my seminary is so this is a model, so philosophy for composers, okay? And then we have 3 topics. I actually more. So we have aesthetics. There are different things. We have philosophy of music. We have the philosophy of art. And we have what I call the composer's life. And because I have to remember that I am also an education business here, I want to explain everything in this lesson here because I want to make you curious to come back to my channel. And then I can break down and explain more about how this works. So what we did today is this. Overview of some problems in the conservative perspective, and the rule, or let's say the technique, or the criteria of ontological substitution. And this is the substance here is of this thought is not entirely new, but the way that I compactualize this as a criteria to reproduce and judge beauty and to handle the problem of beauty is totally original. So I ask you kindly to leave a like or to share the video, and principally to understand that this is still a tool to first to help you understand the problems and to formulate the problems as I did here. But second, and I missed to speak about this because it came other things that were important for you to understand. This is very pragmatic and effective. So if you compose music now and you do this test, this is the plane, the ontological plane, and now it comes the music that you created. Interrupts the ontological plane, and now it comes back. Now you should ask yourself, how does it relate to the ontological plane? So how are you interrupting the original experience of nature when you create the artwork? Ask yourself this. You are going to see that this font is way more important than what I might here be able to show, because I lack of performative skills. So it's an annoying lesson. You have to work and pay attention. And I'm going to come back to this. And if you are a filmmaker and better YouTuber, so do a documentary about this and then link my channel as a source, because I want to explore more this. It's a very hard intuition to translate for me into words, but perhaps the easiest thing to do is to live like this. So just think about how you are going to interrupt the ontological plane, what happens, and do you find this harmonic relationship or not? If there is one thing that it is very hard to deny is the principle of harmony, and this means combination. Okay, combination, by the way, is with combination, at least from Portuguese. It is to bring together. So this principle is so hard to fight, and this would be the substract of everything you can call truth in the conservative discourse of today. Because our problem today is the total lack of search for harmony. So we don't even search for harmony. The conservative perspective is very valid when it comes to show that we are not even searching for this discussion. We are in the total cynicism. So whatever. Okay? So this is the nihilist cynicism, not the philosophical cynicism. Okay? So we do whatever. We are not searching. So Cicero was searching for the truth and for the beauty. Lucretius was searching perhaps more for the truth. But they are opposites, but they were doing the thing. They are going towards it. And this is what the conservatives, they get right. They show, see how ridiculous. You don't have even the number 5 here in this series, because actually you don't want anything. You wake up and you don't even want to learn the notation of the instrument that you use. This is the discourse. So they use these videos to promote beauty in a very rhetoric sense. Only from the rhetorical point of view, I find them valid, but not from the philosophic, argumentative point of view. So this is Emmanuel speaking. Thanks very much, and see you later. Ciao, ciao.